Hello, everyone. My name is Christina Michelle, reporting from WRPB Studios.
And Dan Toback with SLC Scanner, news from the people, for the people.
So, this is actually our very first episode. We're super excited to let everyone know that we're going to be doing a weekly news segment that's hyper local to the Port St. Lucie community. We're going to be going over the weekly newsletter and any additional information that the citizens of Port St. Lucie have brought to our attention. So, if you want to subscribe to the channel, please go to tinyurl.com/PSLC Scanner. Again, that is tinyurl.com/PSLC Scanner. Please go to that page right away, subscribe. You'll receive the weekly newsletter, a link to check out the channel. And if you're not already following us on Facebook, please do that right away. So just a quick history on St. Lucie Scanner that Dan's going to kind of give us a rundown on.
Absolutely. Thank you. So SLC Scanner has been in existence, folks, for about 10 years, actually. I got the page from Greg Davis, who was the founder originally 10 years ago, and he's awesome. He's a good buddy of mine. And I've been the page sponsor because I buy and sell houses for a living in our community. And as the page sponsor, I would help support different initiatives. But last September, upon our 1-year anniversary, I fully took over the page, and I've been here ever since, reporting on the news and getting your messages from the people, for the people, of the updates pertinent to St. Lucie County.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dan. That is a service that the community definitely needs. And SLC Scanner actually has over 65,000 followers right now that are all central to St. Lucie West, Port St. Lucie, East Port St. Lucie. So definitely stay in touch with us there. This is a great way for the people of Port St. Lucie to report anything that's happening that we may not be getting right away from law enforcement or other news outlets. So we're going to kind of just go over a few things this week. It's going to be very brief because we're just kind of going through the motions of our first episode, but please feel free to reach out if you have any suggestions or there's anything that we missed out on. But definitely the first thing that I want to ask, as far as on the page, I always see people posting CBAF. Yeah. SIBAF. I always see this on the post. I couldn't figure out what it means. Can you please help me understand?
Absolutely. So CBAF is what lives and breeds and really puts the momentum behind our culture here at SLC Scanner. Sent in by a fan. And that's truly, Christina, what makes us so different, is unfiltered news from the people who actually experience it and live it. As you all know, who already follow the page, a lot of the news that we put out, it's by the citizens, right? It's just items that we truly repost in order to inform and make sure our community is safe and connected. So these messages come directly to us from you guys who actually experience traffic incidences, crime in the neighborhood, different things going on, and also good things as well. Also the positive things that people do, local heroes, things like that. And that's the power of Sent in by a Fan, that unfiltered nature to where you really do know what's going on.
Wonderful, wonderful. Again, Dan, thank you. So speaking of traffic incidences, we have school that just started again, and we have a program that we've been seeing, an initiative by the Port St. Lucie Police Department to catch school bus runners. So with the school bus, we've all seen that they are plugging a school bus on US 1. They're putting out that stop sign, and they're trying to see if everyone is respecting the rules. Now, I know some people have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about it?
It's interesting you bring that up because we have a lot of people on the page in the comments. You guys know it. They go back and forth on this issue, right? Sometimes they say, you know, the school bus, it was too close, right? It didn't fully stop. The car didn't really pass it. And then other times, right, it's really blatant on what the vehicle did. I want to shout out a local, Tammy Salguero, who sends us those fantastic videos almost each and every time we get them, so that we have something to post to really show the different images of what happened. But we certainly want to protect, and we certainly want to make sure that our kids are safe. Our kids, we can all agree with all our differences. All of us could agree that we want to keep our children safe. So we couldn't be happier that the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, the Port St. Lucie PD, on the very last video, one of their motorcycles was out there, that they're taking this seriously, and they're putting this at the front of their mind in terms of taking care of the issue, making sure that those drivers know that they're taking this issue seriously. They want to keep our kids safe, and they want to also respect our bus drivers.
Yes, I agree with all of that. I was one of those people that were kind of on the fence. I'm like, hey, this kind of looks like entrapment. And why is there a school bus on US 1? Like, it's a double whammy because I don't have any children, so I don't really have like a stake in the game. But I also feel like it's not safe
Yeah.
to have children getting off on US 1.
Yeah.
So I would always tell you, if you're a parent and you feel that this is not safe for your children, relay that information back to the school. Suggest a safer drop-off point that isn't on such a busy road. This is very important, but I think it's also important, just pay attention. Pay attention to school buses. Those school bus stops are there for a reason. We are trying to protect the children of the community, so just be more mindful. And again, if you have a problem with that school bus stop being on US 1, report it to the schools. I'm sure that they're completely open to suggestions on a safer location. So thank you for that, Dan. Speaking of kids, while we're on this subject, we've also been getting a lot of reports of random strangers potentially taking photos of children without permission. And I just want to highlight a few different stories. We had one that recently went viral of creepy bald man. And this was just a gentleman that was at the park taking photos, but because there were parents with kids there, the parents felt a little bit weary of him. And instead of approaching him, they simply took his pictures, they posted it on the page, and this man actually has a good reputation in the community. And instead of approaching him and giving him an opportunity to explain himself, they simply took these pictures and posted it on SLC Scanner. And of course, the internet went wild with it. It turns out that this gentleman was actually just at the park taking nature photos. So what do you think about that, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great point, and I'm glad you brought that up. I think that anytime you see people out and about in public, right, it's really important to sometimes take the emotion back of what you're seeing and try to think out possible scenarios of what might be happening, and that's going to give you a better outcome. There has been a couple of stories. Obviously, we had the gentleman, right, the creepy bald man, right, and that gentleman, like Christina said, he was out there doing something good. He was getting images of the different areas of the park. He wanted to capture the essence of the area, which we should be proud of where we live, and I think that's a fantastic hobby to do. Christina mentioned something before we went live, and I thought it was a fantastic idea. I think that we have to become better communicators, right? Person to person. When you're out in public, it is tempting to get the phone out or the camera, to snap, have that one glimpse, have that one shot, and then post. But instead, I would challenge our community. I would say, hey, listen, if you see something, you always want to say something, get officials involved. But also, if you're in public and the person doesn't look like they're doing anything particularly threatening, you just want to question, hey, I noticed you taking some photos, and there's a community of people around here. Can you maybe show me the photos you're taking? Or can you maybe explain to me what type of photography you do? Just ask some very basic, simple questions, and you never know. You might meet someone really awesome, like this particular gentleman, or you might kind of see something that needs a little bit more look at, something to be more, totally lost my train of thought there.
Yeah, you just want to be vigilant. You want to
Yeah.
be wary. And if the person that you approach, and don't be vigilant. We don't want you to approach anyone in an aggressive way. Just if you see someone that might potentially be acting suspicious, you say, hey, again, just like Dan said, it looks like you're taking some pictures. I'm really curious. Are you a nature photographer? Can I see some of your photos? This is kind of a feeler question. And if the person responds back and goes, yeah, absolutely, look at these pictures, it will kind of subside those concerns. But if the person turns around and goes, no, you can't see these pictures, that's a cause for concern. That's when you go, okay, sir, well, it kind of seems like maybe you're doing something malicious. And if you're not able to show me pictures of what you're doing, I'm going to have to report you to the authorities.
Yes.
And again, there's a way to do this that isn't aggressive. It's a kind way of being a positive vigilance.
Absolutely.
And like Dan said, you might end up meeting a really interesting person in the process. So definitely just be weary, but be mindful that we don't have to treat everyone like they're a potential enemy, but you can still keep your community safe in a very mindful manner. So I think that's important. There was another woman who was being caught taking pictures in Dave and Buster's. We don't know why she was taking pictures in Dave and Buster's. Nobody found out, but they took her picture and they posted it all over the internet. Dave and Buster's is a new location. She might have been an international person that has never seen Dave and Buster's before. So I think for me, it's just have perspective, know that context matters, ask questions, and don't be afraid to approach people, but don't be aggressive either, because it's unnecessary until you're absolutely certain, without a doubt, that the person is being mischievous. So yeah, I think for me, that's the best way to do it.
Yes.
Approach people nicely. And now that we get past that, there are more serious matters that are concerning. We've been getting a lot more reports of domestic violence in vehicles. We've received quite a few different videos of a woman driving and getting punched by a male passenger while she continued to drive. There was another report of a woman holding a baby off of Indria Road in Fort Pierce, and we actually got this video. It was very harrowing to watch, and a gentleman was grabbing her by the back of her neck and eventually threw her to the ground while there was a baby in her arms. So what would you suggest that a citizen should do when they come across something like that?
Yeah, and domestic violence, guys, it's a serious topic. It goes on, all too frequently, and we certainly want to be a platform that stands against that. We take a stand. We also inform the community that it is happening and that we all need to work together to make sure we keep our community safe, just like any other issue. With these particular cases that came in, these were videos that we got from our community, right? So it came directly from a follower. We did, and we always ask our followers if they reached out to law enforcement. If you see domestic violence or violence in our community, it's an absolute must that you call 911. It's an absolute must because they can go ahead and take action as it's happening and get there to make sure that nothing worse happens, okay? It's a good practice to capture what's happening on camera. There's value there because it can be used as evidence later on. However, it should not be before you call 911. When you see something like that, when you see any type of violent occurrences around town or possible crime, you want to call the police right away. But second, we've talked about dash cams before. A camera that runs on your car 24/7 to capture any events, whether it's traffic, whether it's crime. It's not a bad idea to have a dash cam because you practice safe filming because it's going on as you're driving. You don't have to get your phone out or be distracted. So a dash cam is something else to always keep you safe. But if you've already called the police and you're sitting there in your vehicle, having it on camera can be used as evidence. And then this person who was in the car actually got out to help the woman, which is definitely heroic. And we want to make sure that we recognize heroes in our community, which we did. We let the community know that after we posted that video, the person did call 911, which is amazing. That's what needed to happen. Second, they got out to help the woman who was being attacked.
Wonderful. And it's an important thing to highlight here as well. Do not put yourself in danger. Your life and your self-preservation are always at the utmost importance. So keep your boundaries, get your video. If you can safely get video, get that license plate, get whatever photos you can. And once you're absolutely certain that what is going on is in fact going on, immediately contact law enforcement. Give them all the information you have, and hopefully you are saving a person's life and getting them out of a situation that they need to get out of. So good job, everyone. Continue reporting those kinds of things to us. We need to try to protect our fellow citizens. And not just in Port St. Lucie, even though we're a hyper-local news source, this is something you want to do no matter where you are. So the final thing that we're going to be talking about this week is on September 4th at 2:30 a.m. there was an absolutely devastating fire that occurred. It has deeply affected the Hamilton family. We had a wife, a grandson, and a daughter lost in a horrible fire. Everything that belonged to the family, including their home, has been completely destroyed. So we do have the son, he's the surviving son, and his father, who are currently in a need for a lot of help. The son is currently staying with his friend's mother, Taylor Murphy. She did set up a GoFundMe, so if you're on the SLC Scanner Facebook page, you can actually type in the name Taylor Murphy. That's TaylorMurphy. If you search Taylor Murphy, her name will come up. All of the posts under her name will come up. You can reach out to her on her page. There will be the GoFundMe. They luckily have had the community swarm over them and pretty much replenish every single thing that the family has needed. They do have a couple other items that they're trying to raise money for. So please definitely reach out to Taylor Murphy. You can also reach out to Joe Hamilton. He is the father that is currently trying to recover everything for his family. Joe Hamilton's number is 772-501-1260. Again, that's 772-501-1260. 1260. They're going to be having a lemonade stand at a fish fry in Fort Pierce coming up soon. You can also get that information from Taylor. And that lemonade stand is to help raise those funds to help Alex get an e-bike because he does need to be able to get to and from school and his other recreational activities. So we really appreciate all of the help. And we're very grateful for what the community has done for the Hamiltons. So thank you again. And do you have anything to add there, Dan?
Yeah, just another great example, Christina, of the community coming together. We always say this on the page. reporting the news and putting out good information is very important. That's the purpose of the page. However, not only do we want to report the news, we want to act on the news. And when we see somebody like a family, one of our neighbors in distress, had an event like that happening, a life-changing event, a tragic event, we want to really put our arms around them. We want to help them, because at some point in your life and some point in my life, we're going to be a neighbor in need. Whether it's something major like this or something smaller, we're always either going into something, we're in something, or we're coming out of something, right? So it's really important to not only put the news out there, but act on the news. And to be a good neighbor, that's what we're doing here. So thank you for everyone participating in this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dan. So one more time, you guys, this is Dan Toback. He is the owner of SLC Scanner. Right now, the page currently has about 65,000 followers that are all citizens of St. Lucie or very closely surrounding areas. So share that page, follow us there, subscribe to the newsletter. That is at tinyurl.com/PSL Scanner. So again, that's tinyurl.com/PSLC Scanner. And just to celebrate our very first episode, in addition to this being our first episode with SLC Scanner, we also have Dan's birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Dan.
you.
What a way to celebrate. We are giving this back to the community. This is Dan's gift to you all. So please continue to follow us here. And my name is Christina Michelle with WRPB Studios.